Stop! Stop picking that scab!
Stop picking that scab. This is Moments in Ministry with MJK. The scab represents regret. So the cut is a result of a bad decision, not thinking things through, not planning things out. And a lot of times in life, that's what we do. We move on impulse. We don't pay attention to what's surrounding us, things that might be obstructing us, things that might be a danger for us. We don't pay attention to the signs because we don't look for the signs. But if we look for the signs, we can pay attention to them and we can prevent a lot of the things that happen to us from happening, which in turn will prevent us from having regret. A lot of times when we're dealing with the bad decisions that we've made, we try to rationalize, well, what could I have done better to prevent it? All you can do is go through the motions and allow the healing process to take place. The healing process is not a comfortable process. It's a very uncomfortable process. The healing process has its own level of pain. Yeah. When your skin is growing back over this injury, guess what? It's painful. Now that it's healing, you're going through that process and you're happy, but you keep looking at it. It looks disgusting, and all you want is for it to be gone. So, you think that you can speed up the process. Speeding up the process means now I see it's getting hard. I'm going to start picking it. Picking it doesn't help. Now, once you pull that layer of hard skin off, guess what? It has to go through another process of healing. And if you pick it again, once that hard skin forms, guess what? You have to go through another process of healing. So stop picking that scab. Just let it heal. Leave it alone. It's going to do what it's going to do. You don't have to help it. All you're doing is reminding yourself every time you pick this scab, it's a constant reminder that it's there. This regret. Oh, I should have did this. Or I shouldn't have did that. Or I should have been careful. Or I shouldn't have did this. Or I should have went that way. Or I shouldn't have. Regret. Woulda, coulda. Don't worry about it. Just let it heal. Allow it to go through the natural process of healing. We all make bad decisions. And we all have some level of regret at some point in time. But don't pick the scab and constantly remind yourself of the decision that you made that got the scab there in the first place. Let it go. Let it do what it's going to do. Because you know what? It doesn't need your help. Eventually, it will subside. And you'll have another chance. Just like you'll have new skin eventually. That may not look as pretty. There might be a mark there. But you know what that's going to serve as? A lesson. It's going to remind you. Before you move. Before you do anything. Think. Check out your surroundings. Make sure you've evaluated everything. Make sure you've weighed your pros and your cons. Because you don't want to have regret. Make sure that everything that you're doing it with a clear mind. Open heart. So that regret won't be a scab that you gotta constantly pick.
Stop!
Just leave the scab alone. Stop picking the scab. In conclusion with that, I want to say this. We're going to make some bad decisions. We are. We are imperfect, and that's just what we're going to do sometimes. But we don't have to constantly fall into that bad decision-making realm. If we consult God more, that's checking out our surroundings and looking at the signs and trying to figure out and maneuver. We can't maneuver by ourselves. And this is why we look around and see and think, yeah, we got to observe. Okay, take observation of what's going on around us. Let God guide you. Let God guide you. He can take some of these obstacles out of your way. He can put a clear frame of mind inside of you, whereas you're thinking more rational before making decisions, before moving, before doing certain things that's going to maybe hurt you in the end. Let God be a part of everything. Pay attention to the signs that He's showing you. And God gives us clear signs. He shows us things, and He'll show you over and over and over again if need be. But you can't keep ignoring them. You have to take heed, or else you're going to fall and you're going to be left with regret. Because you're going to look at that as, dang, I didn't have to. Had I paid attention to the signs, had I observed my surroundings better, had I did things a little bit differently, had I moved a little slower, had I listened to that voice that told me, we can eliminate a lot of our regret if we just sit down and rationalize with ourselves and the Lord before we do anything. Check out your surroundings. Weigh your pros and your cons. And you have someone there with you every step of the way to help you do just that. But you have to allow Him to help you to do that. So let's try not to pick the scab. Just let it heal. Let it serve as a lesson. And don't make the same mistake. And if for no other reason, because He gave you this, you should be loving on the Lord, praising the Lord, worshiping the Lord, and giving Him any and everything that He asks for. Because He gave you something right here that's valuable. And it is so awesome how He created us. Not only what He put out here, more importantly, what He put inside here. If only we dwelt within our inner self, our higher self, it could be awesome. Awesome. The beauty inside and outside, marvelous. But the only way we're going to get to that beauty inside is if we realize who He created us to be. Who He created us to be. Right on that. Just think about that for a little bit. We're not living in our purpose, and we must start. Try to not pick the scab, but try even harder to prevent the fall. God bless.